Welcome to another edition of Bus Side Chats, where I am talking to you about living in a VW bus and what it's actually like. I'm doing this as a way to travel because I really wanted to do the national parks in the US. And so this is a really cool, unique, fun way to do it. And I just wanted to talk you through a list that I kind of put together on my phone of like things that I would recommend accounting for or things that I've realized like in hindsight that would be super useful. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump on in. Okay, packing. You're gonna want to pack less than you think because like half the clothes I thought I would wear them, but I'm just wearing like the same three outfits constantly. Um, Workout clothes. I don't know, like I have a separate bag, but I put them when they get like stinky and sweaty. It's usually like a dry bag. And then I wait for them to pile up. So like the more the merrier of like socks and workout clothes, because if you want to like stay active and use like Planet Fitness, for instance, like I use them for like working out and showers and sometimes Wi-Fi. Okay, second thing is packing cubes when you're packing because it keeps it organized. Because I cannot tell you how many times I've packed and unpacked things in the van or like been like, where is this? Where is that? And not knowing where it is. So having things at least somewhat organized or within certain containers within the bus definitely helps rather than just stuffing it all in one area. To parking, I'd say in general you can park wherever you park, but have discernment about it. For instance, last night I was at a national forest and I thought I found a decent spot to park. There were like two other vehicles, one of them left, but then one was staying overnight. So I was like, okay, this will be fine. Very dark area. There was like 2 bars of cell signal. So I was like, this is okay. Because I at least had it to where I had like signal. And then like it was like 8:30 I got to bed, which is quite early for me. I was like, yes, a full night's rest. This will be great. I've been driving a lot and just like doing a bunch of things. So I got to bed and then at like 10:45 p.m. I got woken up, not by someone knocking on my door, but just like someone being creepy. Like a vehicle coming by with like super loud, like weird sounding music, like just not the type of music that is like positive. And so then I ended up like moving to a different spot and you just want to kind of use your discernment there. I'd say if you got in like a situation where you needed a decent thing, I'd say definitely campsite is like the best. But a lot of those actually fill up in advance, which I did not know. So like in um in the Badlands National Park, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to stay at this campsite here, and it was full, so I had to drive to like two other ones to make it work. And then those were also full because it was late. And so I'd say if you have the opportunity to plan in advance, that's a lot more convenient because then you could stay in the national park or around it. But turns out that they actually fill up super far in advance, or if you book it the last minute, it's going to be super expensive. Which is kind of ironic because you're staying in your vehicle or a tent or something. So it's like it shouldn't be that much, but it is. I've heard of different sites like there's apps you can pay for. It's like Van Alert or Harvest Host. I haven't personally used them. I'm definitely considering. But I just think it's silly to kind of pay just to have access to it. I don't know. I just think it's weird. Those are like mapping services where they tell you where you can park. There's iOverlander and a few others too. But like for instance, one of the campsites that I tried to go into that was free parking was like you had to have 4-wheel drive to get to it. So then I turned around on that road was like no way. And then the other option that I had found another night, it was closed. So it was like campground closed, but it was like a free campground. And I was like, well, that kind of sucks. So you just never know. And you just have to have like in your back pocket or in like the back of your mind, like a plan just in case. And worst case, I'd say parking by like a street that other people are parallel parked for the day, sometimes a neighborhood if you're discreet, sometimes a hospital, sometimes an airport parking lot. If you're really in a pinch and you pay for like long-term parking overnight in an airport, that's not a bad idea. Just safety first, you know? It's better to be safe than sorry. Food. I'd say like it's a difficult balance of like having a cooler and like trying to use the food, but then also like estimating what you're actually gonna eat. It's something I'm still figuring out, but it's easy when you're in a grocery store and you know there's not gonna be one for a couple hundred miles. You're like, oh, like I want this, this, and that, and like I'm gonna eat this the next couple of days, and then it just becomes like this thing of like I don't want it to get too hot, especially if you have like hummus, because I'm a big hummus girl, and it's just like figuring out like what works for you. I do have like a couple of like bagged curries or things like, well, honestly, one thing of bagged curries. So I need to get some because just in case, because then you don't have to heat it. You can literally just open it and have a spoon and then eat it. One of the things there that I'm definitely challenged with and figuring out is like when you're not staying at campgrounds, like how to clean your dishes. I currently have one doused in water in my cooler, which I know is not a long-term solution, but it's what I'm doing for now because otherwise the flies are going to swarm it. I didn't plan for flies and bugs the best. I did end up getting 2 types of bug spray. Unfortunately, I am using deep bug spray. I also life hack Trader Joe's. There's none around here, which I'm very disappointed. But if you're near a Trader Joe's and you're gonna go camping or van life near nature, go get yourself Trader Joe's lemongrass shampoo and conditioner. Let me see if I can grab it because lemongrass is absolutely fantastic. Here's the conditioner. Lemongrass is fantastic for deterring bugs. And so, like natural deterrent, I'll take that. It's healthier than wearing DEET every day. There's also a lemongrass body oil, which I also got and haven't used yet. Because I've heard too many horror stories of people with like ticks and mosquitoes and everything, and I'm not really a fan of bugs. As much as I love nature and outdoors, it's just not for me. I don't like bugs. I'm also afraid of snakes. I had 2 cockroaches in my van the other day. I was like, how the heck are cockroaches even getting in here? And I think it's there's some of the holes in the floor pan, but whatever. But I think they came for the bag of apples. And I'm like, come on, guys, why are you coming for a bag of apples? Don't you like processed food? I don't know. Gas. I think I've talked about this before, but gas with a VW bus, you want to get 91 or better. So you can get away with 89 and then do a mix of 93, 91, 89, and you'll be fine. I just wouldn't be putting like 85 or 86 in. Also, I almost ran out of gas today. There's certain stretches when you're going between national parks that literally it'll be like a long time between gas stations, and I didn't realize that. And my gas light came on and the GPS signal wasn't working, so I couldn't look along the route to see when the next gas station was. And thankfully there was one a couple miles later, but if there hadn't been, I probably would have run out of gas and wouldn't have been able to call AAA because it was SOS signal. Wi-Fi, that has been something that I'm just still figuring out because there are Wi-Fi services that you can buy for the van, but a lot of them you have to power, and I don't want to put all that strain on just my one battery. So if you have like the whole like inverter kit type thing, or like a portable big size battery that you can charge like big electronics from, I would maybe go that route, but they're kind of expensive. So the cheapest one was like $150 or $160 a month, which to me sounds really silly to pay for Wi-Fi. But like, I think if I had a remote job, that would make a lot of sense. But since I don't really want to be paying that plus the router, like all for just like a 2-month trip. So what I'm doing instead is Planet Fitness has Wi-Fi. So even though they give me strange looks if I go in after my workout with my computer, like it is what it is. And I also have been going to like occasional like coffee shops and just like buying a tea or an avocado toast or something and just like using it for hours to get some stuff done on the Wi-Fi. I do have some cellular data on my cell phone that I've been using for obviously maps and email. But yeah, that has been kind of inconsistent, the Wi-Fi. I think if you want to make it consistent, you can. It's just going to be expensive. So like if you have work that like allows you to work remotely, awesome. I think there are some campgrounds. I'm just kind of shying away from paying for campgrounds unless it's like a really nice one or like I really want to. I've been mainly for camping, which basically means a lot of truck stops and neighborhood parking discreetly and national forest. Okay, next up, safety. Again, sort of like the last night situation, I just kind of play it by ear. I really gut check and watch if I'm being watched. If something seems off, then I trust my gut because I'd rather be safe than sorry. You can also like hop in the passenger side of your vehicle if you feel like someone's watching you, like after you finish pumping gas or something, if you're still traveling. I also share my location with like an obnoxious amount of friends, which is fantastic. Because then everyone can know where I am, and if something something were to happen, which it won't, yeah, you just want to be safe, rather safe than sorry. Other big thing, parts and maintenance. If you are traveling in an older vehicle, whether it's a VW or an old Chevy van or even honestly those Mercedes Sprinters, like you just want to make sure you have common parts and maintenance. What I mean by that is like if you have some brake pads, if you have some oil, if you have some transmission fluid, if you have belts, if you have like a cable that's commonly like wears out, if you have a tire repair kit, things like that. Like I just kind of keep a plethora of parts that I could possibly need because otherwise you're going to be waiting for shipments, especially if it's like an uncommon vehicle. If you're driving like a Toyota 4Runner, you might not have to worry as much unless it's an older one and then you got to order your parts in advance. But I'd say the less common your vehicle is, the more you want to prepare as far as like parts and such. And then maintenance, you just want to make sure you get everything that you can, everything that you think of like checked and done before you head on the road. You can also kind of do like a trial route before you head on your main journey, which I did. So for me, it was from my hometown to like 2.5 hours, just to get it on the highway and see how it's reacting and how it's going. And just drive it around locally a couple of days, like have everything how you think you want it packed because you're going to want to pack less, you're going to want to adjust where you put stuff. And it's just good to kind of have a buffer of a couple of days so that you can get everything sorted before you seriously get like deep into your road trip. So those are some things that I would recommend, 7 lovely things. And I feel like I elaborated there, but if there's anything I missed, drop me a question in the comments and I'll be happy to answer.